What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stack Sats Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody had a good, nice, Monday? Tuesday. Today's Taco Tuesday. Holy! That sounds awesome. Taco Tuesday in the house. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Hard Huddle. Do me a favor, guys, hit that like button on the way in. Maybe we'll get some more algorithm love and get pushed out to the people that have subscribed and maybe don't realize that we're live. Ah, my voice feels like it's going out. Satwise in the house. What up? Round of applause from the live studio audience for Mr. Satwise Jenks. Welcome. Sure, I got my my page up here. Found it. All right, let's kick things off with a little segment that we like to call the Sat Strength. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $96,051.82. I wish it was $69,000. It's getting closer to 100K. We had a little bit of a dip here, but we'll see what happens. It's making its way back up. So who knows when we'll hit 100,000? Will it be this month, this year? Let's see. Stay tuned and find out, right? Today you can buy 1,041 Satoshis for a single dollar. What the heck is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin, just like if you save up 100 pennies, you can have basically a dollar. If you save up 100 million Satoshis, you have a Bitcoin. Okay? Let's say you're walking down the street minding your own business, you look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day that penny could buy you 10 Satoshis for a single penny. Okay? When we started doing this show, back in the day, like a year and a half ago, we're getting about 40 Satoshis for a penny. Now we're getting 10 Satoshis for a penny. That's wild. It's wild. Thanks, Satwise. I appreciate that. All right, so let's get this show cracking, and that's a wrap on the Sat Strength. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Any comments, I really appreciate those. It gives me something to talk about, so much appreciated. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Mr. Paul. What up, Paul? Good to see you in here. It's been a while. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button on the way in, and type in "stacked" into the chat if you hit the like button. Okay? How about that? Okay, I'm putting on some other music. There we go. All right. Next order of business is to talk about why we stack. Why we stack. This is a segment where I just kind of talk a little bit about Bitcoin with some inspirational music in the background to hopefully move you just a little bit to consider saving in Bitcoin. Why do we save in Bitcoin? Why do we stack? All right, first let me show you something. Because the debt keeps going up, and as the debt keeps going up, the sorry guys, I lost track of my thought there. I was kind of trying not to laugh. The as the debt goes up, the number of monetary units that exist in the fiat system has to increase, and as the number of monetary units, the number of dollars increase, the value of each individual dollar drops. So you're losing purchasing power over time just by holding paper money. And it doesn't have to be the dollar. It could be a peso, it could be a bolivar, it could be a yen, it could be a real, it could be a franc, a euro. All those monies are inflating, and with that inflation comes debasement. It means that each of those individual units of money can buy you less and less things over time. Okay, the only way you can beat that is by putting your economic energy, your monetary energy into an asset like Bitcoin that does not inflate. When you do that, the inflation process will continue, but your savings will be immune to inflation. And when that happens, your purchasing power increases over time against the fiat money, against the paper money, against the government money. Okay, so it's a way to preserve the work you've done, and not only that, also increase the amount of hours, the amount of time that currency or that savings represents. Right? We'll get a little bit more into detail about that topic, about that concept during the stack recap. I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. Okay, but rest assured that just to say that to wrap up this segment, saving my elevator pitch for anybody that's thinking about, well, why should I save in Bitcoin? What's the point? Right? Why shouldn't I save in cash or in something else? Because you need to understand this little piece right here. Is saving in Bitcoin is like going back in time and giving yourself a perpetually increasing retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked for, as long as you hold the Bitcoin that represents those hours. Okay? So it's like going back in time and giving yourself a raise, right? And not only just doing that once and giving yourself a raise, no. Continue to give yourself a raise for the work you already did for as long as you hold that Bitcoin, right? So the longer you hold it, the more of a raise you would have given yourself in the past, right? And you don't have to do anything extra today besides just hold that value, besides just hold that Bitcoin, right? That's part of the beauty of it, right? You already did the work. You already worked your second job. You already worked your second job and your Uber on the side, right? Now you take that hard-earned value that for now is represented in terms of fiat money, and you take that and you convert it into a better store of value, which is Bitcoin. And once you convert that into a better store of value, which is Bitcoin, it becomes immune from inflation. And now inflation doesn't affect those savings. And as a matter of fact, it works as opposite. Inflation makes your worth in Bitcoin more expensive in terms of dollars, because the price of the dollar is going down against Bitcoin. And if you can save in Bitcoin, you're in essence letting the system work for you. So now when you see this chart, instead of being alarmed, you're still kind of alarmed at the rate at which our debt is increasing. Well, that rate of increase, that money printing is now making you wealthier in terms of that money, because your wealth is not saved in this debasing money. Your wealth is saved in Bitcoin. It's pretty crazy the way it works. Anyway, that is why we stack. I hope you enjoyed that brief little segment. I treated myself to a new PC on Cyber Monday, and with a Fold Best Buy card, I bought. I see with the Best Buy card you bought on Fold. There you go. I stacked over $16 worth of Satoshis. That PC will pay for itself someday. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Did anybody else do any Cyber Monday purchases? I had some stuff locked into my cart that I was gonna pull the trigger on, but then I was like, I can't buy this stuff right now. You know, like I could buy it, but then again, I don't need it. I don't have to have it in the next 6 months. I don't have to have that stuff right now. A new PC makes sense because you're using it for other things, and if your PC already was on its last leg, then yeah, you gotta bite the bullet and get that PC, right? But other stuff, right now I had a bunch of stuff in my cart, and I was like, yeah, Cyber Monday, it's gonna be a good deal. Cyber Monday, there's always a reason to buy something. There's always a good deal. But then I thought to myself, dang, how would my life change if I didn't have this thing for another 6 months? Well, my life would be pretty much the same. What about for another year? What if I didn't have that thing for another year? Okay, well, it's pretty much the same. And how would my life change if I took that money and put it into Bitcoin instead? How would my life change in 6 months or a year? Well, it's probably going to not change so much, but I will have a bigger stack. Anyway, I couldn't find something. I couldn't find something this year for Cyber Monday that I felt was a better buy than my Bitcoin right now. So there's that. And also, round of applause for everybody in the chat. Of course, Hard Huddle, Statwise Jenks, Paul, And Hard Huddle's comment is so funny. I stack it like crack. There you go. I know you stack crack. Oh my gosh, you guys are hilarious. All right, so that said, let's get into. Oh yeah, so the topic of the day: buy more Bitcoin or wait. Buy more Bitcoin or wait. What do you think I'm going to say? Like, it's at $95,967 Bitcoin. Should we wait or should we buy more? Or should we sell? In my opinion, this is not financial advice. This is just what I'm doing. You should do your own research and figure out what you need to do. Because I can't go hit the buy button for you or the sell button for you. Okay? I just know that for me, right now, at $95,000 Bitcoin, $96,000 Bitcoin, it is a buying opportunity still. Okay? Yes, it might come down to whatever price people are saying it might come down to. Who cares? The money that I'm setting aside into Bitcoin, this is me personally, I'm not telling you what to do. The money that I'm setting aside in Bitcoin for the show and on my personal stack is money that I don't need in the immediate future that I feel is better saved, is better stored in Bitcoin, because over time, as we've seen here on the show, for the past year and a half, maybe slightly more than a year and a half, almost 2 years, it's been a better idea, it's been a better option to save in Bitcoin than save in anything else or invest in anything else, right? It's such a low barrier to entry that you can start with as little as $1, $2, $5. And, you know, it just makes sense to do it. Anyway, all right, let's get into, so to answer the question, buy more Bitcoin or wait? Buy more Bitcoin. DCA, stick to your schedule. Pick your day. If you're doing it daily, pick weekly, pick monthly, whatever you feel like. It's comfortable for you. And pick your frequency. So that's your frequency, and then pick your amount. I'm gonna put $100 a day. I'm gonna put $20 a day. I'm gonna put $5 a day, a week, a month. You decide. But once you decide your schedule, just stick to it. Bitcoin goes up, you stick to your schedule. Bitcoin goes down, you stick to your schedule, right? Because we understand. Once you understand Bitcoin, you realize that unlike any other currency, any other thing in the world that exists, that is a store of value currently, nothing, with the exception of Bitcoin, is finite, is as finite as Bitcoin, right? 21 million, that's all there is. You can make more stuff. You can make more houses. You can make more, even real estate, right? Look at Saudi Arabia. They made an island shaped like a palm tree that made land, right? So you can make more of that. You can't make more gold unless you discovered alchemy, but you can find more gold. There's a finite amount in the universe, but it has not all been found. So even gold has an inflation rate of about 2%, right? So the only thing you can't make more of is Bitcoin, right? So why would you hold anything else? It's that simple. Just not get it too complicated. It's very simple. Buy Bitcoin, take custody of that Bitcoin, and repeat. Can you tell me why buy sats good than, so you tell me why buy sats good than other? Let me make sure we're talking about the same thing first, Neko, and I'll explain it to you in a second, okay? So this is a great question coming in from Neko. I don't know if Neko means sats coin, like SATS. That's not what we're talking about here. That's poop. That's a rug waiting to happen, okay? That is somebody's made up coin that wants to take wants to grift off of people that are trying to get into Bitcoin, right? Sats is not what we're condoning here. We're talking about Bitcoin, and we're talking about Satoshis. So the sats in the show name refers to Satoshis, fractions of a Bitcoin. Okay, it's not a different coin. It's just Bitcoin. Instead of saying 0.0000 Bitcoin, sorry, 0.00001 Bitcoin, we say 1,000 Satoshis, 1,000 sats, stack sats show. Okay, we're not talking about the sats coin, which is an altcoin on the, I think it's a token on the Bitcoin network, but it's still not Bitcoin. Okay, so let's make sure we're on that page. Bitcoin only, and you take custody of that Bitcoin. We don't do any trading. We don't do any yield products. We don't do any of that stuff. No NFTs, no ETFs, no MSTRs, no what are they called? Oh, I'm spacing, but you know what I mean. Because there is no second best. Satwise Janks, thank you for finishing my thought there. Because there is no second best. Okay. All right. So now that we're on the same page, let me answer your question. Assuming that you're referring to Satoshis, not Sats coin. Okay. Can you tell me why buy Sats better than it, or buy Satoshis better than anything else? Okay. I'm going to show you why right now. We're going to jump into the stack recap. All right. So this is a good one. Let me show you. These are all numbers that are real. Okay. In 2024, we started buying Bitcoin at $20 a day. Sometimes 80, sometimes 40, depending on the price of Bitcoin, but always buying at least $20 Monday through Friday. Okay. Since we started buying Bitcoin, as you can see, since the beginning of the year, January 1st, this $20 buy has turned into a $43 worth of value, right? And slow and steady, we just continue to stack Bitcoin. We continue to save in Bitcoin. So just in 2024, we've saved about $6,845, and that stack is currently worth, it got us about 11.7 million Satoshis, right? See that, Satoshis, which is 0.11736 Bitcoin, okay? If we were to go and try to buy the same amount of Bitcoin today, with today's weaker money, it would cost us 64% more of those weaker bills, of that weaker currency, whether it's dollars or whatever. In this case, it's dollars. It would cost us 64% more dollars to buy the same amount of Bitcoin. What has changed here? What's changed here is not only has the price of Bitcoin gone up a little bit, but the purchasing power of the dollar has depreciated against Bitcoin. Therefore, you need more of those weaker dollars to buy the same amount of Bitcoin. And that's just over the span of about 11 months, right? 11 months and 2 days, the dollar has lost purchasing power of about 64%. There you go. That's why we stack sats. That's what we save in Bitcoin. And stack sats means that you can save in Bitcoin and it's approachable still, right? If I told you, hey, go buy one Bitcoin right now, it's only $96,000. You're going to be like, no way, man, that's impossible. It's going to be really hard for anybody that's getting started into Bitcoin to be able to commit that amount of money for something that they're not 100% sure of, right? So the more you understand Bitcoin, the more you feel comfortable with it, the easier it becomes for you to invest in it and start to understand what it really is and how it serves you, right? But you can't do that if your barrier to entry is $97,000, right? But what if I could tell you, hey, you know what? You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin all at once. You can buy 1,040 Satoshis, fractions of a Bitcoin. So 0.0001040 Bitcoin for $1. That becomes more palatable, right? Now you look at the $96,000 and we say, oh, I don't need $96,000 to get started with Bitcoin. I just need like $1. $1 will get me 1,000 sats. $20 will get me 20,000 sats. And that's how you get started. And once you're holding a little bit of Bitcoin, let's go back to the spreadsheet. Oops, wrong spreadsheet. This one. Once you're holding, let's say I was holding $20 worth of Bitcoin. I bought it January 1st at $43,870. So I bought $20.20 worth with fees and stuff. And it ends up becoming about 45,589 Satoshis in my Bitcoin wallet. That's not a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot, right? It's nothing. But you look at it now and you say, wow, that's actually increased in purchasing power by more than double, right? And so then you start to see how Bitcoin actually works, and now you start to do more research on it and start to understand it. And next thing you know, you're like, okay, that makes sense. Now instead of thinking that Bitcoin is a risky thing, right? Instead of Bitcoin being the risky thing, now you start to understand that, hey, the real risk is in how much cash I'm holding, right? Because the longer you hold on to your cash in your government money, in your paper money, the longer you hold on to it, the easier it is for them to debase you, right? And the longer you hold on to that cash, the faster you lose purchasing power, right? I like to say that saving in Bitcoin is like going back in time and giving yourself a perpetually increasing retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold the Bitcoin, right? Well, let's take that same thing, that same elevator pitch, and tell you exactly what it means when you hold on to that paper money, when you hold on to that cash. When you hold on to that cash, it's like going back in time and giving yourself a pay cut, a perpetually decreasing pay cut for the hours you already worked for as long as you hold that cash. Okay? Because if before it was costing you, let's go to our burrito index. Let's go to our burrito index. If before your, in this case, our burrito is costing us $13.70 in the past, and it costs us $13.70 today. Well, if in the past, if you were to pay in Bitcoin, it would cost you about that much Bitcoin, 49,000 Satoshis, a little bit over a year ago, right? And today, that same burrito still costs $13.70, but today it's costing you only 14,264 Satoshis for a 71% off of that burrito, right? And you didn't have to do anything else. You didn't have to do any extra work besides save that value, put it into Bitcoin, and just sit on it, right? In the future, your expenses become cheaper and cheaper when you're on the Bitcoin standard. But if you continue on the dollar standard, your expenses will just continue to be the same. But worse than that, the amount of value that you're holding in terms of dollars will be able to buy you less and less things as the prices go up and as your salary is not able to keep up with inflation. Okay, let's go here. January 1st, 2023, about 2 years ago. No, about a year ago. No, about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. The average rent is $2,500, or average mortgage payment is $2,500. That used to cost us, in terms of Bitcoin, 15.2 million Satoshis that's how many Satoshis you could buy for $2,500. 1,000 sats, and sats is the same. That's a good question. I'm going to stop my rant so I can explain that question for you, because I want to make sure you understand this piece. Okay, Nico? Check this out. So, sats here stands for Satoshis, okay? But it's still denominated in Bitcoin. So here, let me explain this to you. Let's go to our spreadsheet here. That's my work. This one. Okay, so you see here, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 9. Interesting. This should be here. Okay. We have 8 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you move this decimal point to the right 8 spaces, and you get the Satoshi's value of this amount of Bitcoin. Okay. If you're in the US, right? If you're in the US, let me slide this thing over so I can make an example here. If you're in the US, we have dollars. Dollars. I read it, so I can't pronounce it weird. You have dollars. You have dollars, which are denominated in USD, right? And you have cents, which are, I think it's a little C with a line through it, right? We'll just put a C right there. US cents. We'll put US cents. I don't know if that's the right way to do it. US cents, right? If you have if you have $0.01, you also have the same, you could also call it 1 cent, right? And if you have $0.1, you can also say you have 10 cents or a dime, okay? This is a penny. Oops. This is a dime. I missed the nickel. If you have $0.25, then you have 25 cents, which is a quarter, right? All the way up until you have $1. 1.00 is 100 cents, right? So cents are like Satoshis to Bitcoin cents to a dollar are like Satoshis to a Bitcoin. Okay. And when you write these down, you can write them down in, I could say, like I said here, I could say 0.01 cent. Sorry, $0.01. So if I went to the store and I was going to buy something and the price of that item was 25 cents, it would make things easier for me to say, oh, how much is that piece of gum? Oh, it's 25 cents, right? It would be easier to say that than it would be to say that piece of gum is $0.25. Okay? And when you say $0.25, it's the same as 25 cents. It's a quarter, right? But we use these things because it makes it easier for us to speak on those things, right? So in this case, it's not so hard to say 0.1173936 Bitcoin. But in this instance over here, where we're talking about a smaller quantity, we're talking about 0.000455589 Bitcoin. It makes it easier for us to speak on this if we just say 45,589 Satoshis, right? You know that as soon as we say Satoshis, we are putting it in, we're basically have to slide the decimal point over to the left 8 times to get the Bitcoin value. Okay? All right. So that's what I mean by sats. That's what we're talking about here on the show. So when you say 1,000 sats and sats is the same, no. 1,000 sats is, let me do it right here. So you have 1, 1, 2, 3, right? And then you have 4 leading zeros. So 0.1234. Okay. So this is 0.00001 Bitcoin. It's the same as 1,000 sats. But again, it's easier to say 1,000 sats. Now, when you go to an exchange and you're going to buy this Bitcoin, okay, and you're going to buy 1,000 sats, you're going to go and you're going to buy Bitcoin, okay? Don't look for a sats denominator. Look for BTC only. Don't buy anything else. There is a sats coin, but it's not Bitcoin, okay? Only buy BTC. When you buy BTC, let me show you here an example again. We're going to buy $20 worth of whatever, $20 worth of Bitcoin, right? I'm going to show you here on my app. There's my app for, oops, let me go big screen on this one. Here's my app for, what's it called? See, here's my app for, what is it? Strike, where I buy the Bitcoin for the show. And as you can see, here's the value of the account denominated in Bitcoin. And if I tap it, it'll show me the same value in terms of Satoshis, right? 441,253 Satoshis is the same as 0.00441253 Bitcoin, okay? So when I go and buy Bitcoin or sats, when I stack sats, I'm just going to buy Bitcoin. I go here, I say I want $20 worth of Bitcoin, I hit next, and it tells me, okay, the $20 worth of Bitcoin after fees are going to get you this much Bitcoin, 0.00020,639 Bitcoin. Or we can call that 20,639 Satoshis. All right? So there you go. The marker you need to be looking for in whatever exchange you're using. If you're using an exchange that's not Bitcoin only, look for BTC. Okay? If you're not buying BTC, you're not buying the real thing. Okay? BTC, the Bitcoin itself. Okay? All right. Hope that helps. I know it kind of went a little bit off the rails there, but these are the kind of questions we need to answer. I want guys in here like Nico that are new to Bitcoin and are trying to figure that out to ask your questions. I'm here for you guys. Yeah, we have a bunch of people in here who are like hardcore Bitcoiners that already understand all the basics, and I appreciate their patience. First of all, for being in here and putting up with my shenanigans, and second of all, for letting me re-explain these things that they already understand, and third, for being in here and helping me correct the mistakes that I might make when I'm describing these things. So I want to have you guys in here because you guys are going to keep me honest and keep me from making a mistake that could lead somebody down the wrong path. Okay. So again, Bitcoin only. We take custody of that Bitcoin and we continue to do that. Okay. And in the end, if you can hold it for 4 years plus, you'll be better off for it. All right. Let's finish the stack recap, guys. Sorry about that whole tangent. Here we go. So, for the lifespan of the show, since we started the show back on May 22nd, 2023, Pizza Day. Again, that $5 stack turned into a $17 stack right now, $17 worth of value, but we're still, that's not set in stone yet. It could go down, but it's more likely that it will continue to go up. So, with all of the buys we've done for the show so far, the show is at 0.311465117 Satoshis. Sorry, Bitcoin, or 31.1 million Satoshis. Depends on how you want to look at it, right? All right, so that's where we're at. What else we got here? We got we did the sets for good. Yeah. Let's keep the show going. Let's just do the next thing that we need to do. So in 2024, the price of Bitcoin is right now 95,000. It's well above our average buy price for 2024. That means that today we're going to stack $20 worth of Bitcoin. That is the plan. And now we know what the plan is. But before we continue with the plan, shout out, round of applause from a live studio audience for Mr. McLovin. What up, McLovin? Good to see you in here. All right. And now that we know how much Bitcoin we're going to buy, right now, there's only one thing left to do. It's time to stack some sats and blow some eardrums. Oh my God. All right, here we go. You guys already know that I'm buying on strike, right? I'm reinstated on strike. Reinstated, boys. Buying $20 worth of Bitcoin right there. For episode 334 of the Stack Sats Show today, I hit confirm, cut the music, start the drum roll, hit confirm, and here we go. Buying $20 worth of Bitcoin right now live during the show to add to our stack. And just like that, we've accumulated an additional 20,623 Satoshis for the show. Just keep it simple, right? Just buy it. All right. Any other questions, please do put them in the chat. The questions are what makes the show more fun. Also, the comments are hilarious, so I appreciate those as well. And let's get this show kind of wrapped up, unless there's any questions, boys. I should be up to date with my... Am I up to date with my buys on the spreadsheet? Let's see. 26. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm almost caught up with updating the spreadsheet, but that'll come soon. Oh, guess what, guys? I put out another episode of 21 Moto this morning. I finally got done editing it. I'm actually trying to see if I can find it. Where is it? There it is. Found it. Okay. I put out a new episode of 21 Moto. Hard Huddle already saw it. He left me a comment, so I appreciate that, Hard Huddle. Let's see, content. Here. Let me get this share button here. Get shareable link. All right, I'm going to put it in the chat. Do me a favor and go watch that video next, right after this video. And yeah, it's just me talking about the Grom, how fun it is to ride it. And at the end of that episode, I kind of give a recap on the status of the Grom so far, the purchases of the Bitcoin we've done on that channel, and how far away we are from breaking even with that thing. All right, so let's start to wrap up the show with a little music. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Stack Sat Show. Neko, thanks for coming in, and I hope to see you back here tomorrow. We're here Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm trying to figure out the time zone. This is what we do every weekday. We answer questions about Bitcoin. We talk about Bitcoin. We buy Bitcoin, and have a blast doing it. So if that interests you, or if you have friends that are also curious about Bitcoin and need questions answered, go do your research, go watch a bunch of videos, and if you get stuck on something, bring it to me. I will answer your questions to the best of my ability. I won't BS you if I don't know the answer. I'll go do the research myself and come back with an answer for the following day. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. I missed the time.